da.
Oh my gosh.
It's too loud for you?
That one?
Yeah.
There you go. Wait, is mine?
Yeah.
Why do I feel like it's low? It's not?
There
Okay.
you go. That's better.
Guys, well, I'm supposed to do the intro.
All right, we're good. You intro us.
Yeah.
So, opening live from the Hidden Bunker Shidduch podcast, it's IJ. You see, we really stepped up our game, guys. But yeah, so we're back and we're here to do another episode of the Nobody Talks Shidduchim podcast. Your co-host IJ here. What up, everyone? And Miss D, welcome back.
Hey guys, what's up? Good to be here.
You did that the other two, so like throwing something else
Why?
for them. Okay, the why.
They like that. So
They
keep,
like
it doesn't matter.
anything.
As long as the listeners come back. That's what
Fine.
matters.
Hey.
Literally.
And we have Avery.
So
Avery, say hi.
So I was supposed to be here actually on a date tonight, but
You
I
canceled?
told the shotgun, I got other duties. I have to go to the Siyama Shas.
Oh, did you
But-
go?
No, hell no. I'm here recording the podcast.
I was gonna go.
What?
Yeah, girls
Really?
do that.
Girls
Yeah.
do that?
Yeah, we're holy
Yeah.
like that.
They like listening to Yiddish Bacher. Hey listeners, it's Avery from the Nobody Talks Shidduchim podcast, and we'd like to thank our sponsors for this week's episode, Piscata. Piscata is both a premier steakhouse and a high-end dairy restaurant. That's right, they have both a meat and dairy location each and are conveniently located in the heart of Flatbush. With their luxurious decor, rich cuisine, and premier service, Piscata is becoming known as one of the go-to restaurants in the tri-state area. And for a limited time, you'll get a free dessert when you mention this podcast. So if you're sick and tired of the boring old Manhattan steakhouses and need a fresh new date spot, make Piscata your next choice.
Very cool, awesome topic as usual. IJ, you say that all the time. I know, but this time
Yeah, you
Avery
do.
is actually going to introduce it.
Yeah, today's topic, for those of you that have had this happen to them, it's something that, we all need to discuss and flesh out and learn from this thing that's happened to everybody. Your worst shidduch experience,
Ever?
anything, ever, that ever happened to you. We've all been in that terrible situation. Somebody, a shotgun, was giving you hell.
Mm-hmm.
A date that you went on had no interest in you at all.
Yep.
Somebody that just grinded your gears. All right.
Right.
And so let's start off with maybe IJ's, worst shotgun or shidduch experience.
Yeah.
We're going to differentiate between the shotgun and, the girl.
And I think it's good to
experience.
point out that everybody has really bad dating experiences, especially in Shidduchim, and you're not alone there.
Yeah.
It's always good to definitely, of course, be dan l'kavzchos to try to give the benefit of the doubt. So always, if you're telling friends or anything, cover up names. If it's Avery, that's okay. You can say it was Avery from the podcast.
Yeah.
You know who you are out there.
Awkward. Do that like.
We
that,
did the
like-
thing again. We should have done the crickets.
Yeah, the crickets. That
Oh,
one
the
meant.
crickets. Wait.
Yeah, that one.
There you go. Crickets are kosher, by the way.
That's gross. Not
I
necessarily.
didn't know that.
Yeah,
Tell the
her.
guru. Yeah.
Tell
I think something big that comes up with worst dating scenarios is that,
Mhm.
if it is constantly happening. So you have to kind of realize at some point, if you just keep on having these crazy stories, like you have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, is
Oh,
it
yeah.
me? Is my life actually like this? Am I this kind of person? Or maybe it is everyone else. And I think when you kind of have that epiphany, you realize it's probably mostly you. or
Yeah, that's
or
true.
right? Or
Mhm.
you're like just getting set up with
Right.
crazy people. So you have to obviously, let's get around to a new shotgun
True.
and work from there. Start someone new or find someone new through that other shotgun, because that has a large influence on how you're dating and the people
Right.
you're coming in contact with.
So has there been a situation for Miss D that has been like, this situation was so bad that, I learned so much from it, or like your
Right.
worst dating experience that, the people could resonate with?
Yeah, I know. Before that, I think that it definitely also comes from you, like you were saying, IJ, like, that like saying like check yourself before you wreck yourself type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like definitely check what you are, like who you are. And I think that's important because like what you attract is like kind of like like who you are. It's like the vibe you attract, so like definitely check yourself. Back to what you were asking, Avery, I think, everybody has an experience like that. For me, I think personally it's more of like a shadchan experience. Again, before we say anything, shadchanim are great, and it depends who you work with, so we're not like bashing all of them, because we don't want like hate, like oh my gosh, so with this specific shadchan, like they're very pushy. A lot of them, they're really just like, that's like their thing, they like to push, which I get it, but at the same time, like I think you should know your limits, because like singles, as much as they need to be pushed, you can't push them too far, because then it's a real turn off and whatever. And this specific shadchan, she was very like go, and there was one instance when she wanted to set me up with someone in Israel. Like a while ago, I was very into going to Israel, so I was like, okay, but then she was like, I asked her, I'm like, how
he lived in Israel?
Yeah, like he was there. So I'm like, how are we gonna do this, because I'm not going to Israel at the moment. And she's like, you can date through like phone and whatever. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm like, I'm so not doing that. And she was like, you want to get married, don't you? And I was like, whoa. Wow. Like, what is your issue? Like, that's so mean. You don't tell someone that. I was like so turned off. And just like that experience, I'm like, I get you want to help, but like there's a way to say things. And, so that was definitely like one thing that sticks out in my mind.
That's terrible.
I definitely dropped her later on, because I was like, see, I don't think we're a good match.
That's good that you realize that, because that's a big part of it, is that there are going to be, let's say, when we're talking about worst dating scenarios, right, on the shadchan side, which we're talking about first. So in your case, you realize that it wasn't you, it wasn't the guy you're dating, or maybe some of the guys you're getting set up with, but it was this shadchan that kept on telling you, do this, do that, do this, do that. So my message out there to the shadchanim would be to first break the ice and show the single that you see their value. That's true. And win them over. Because if you're starting to give abrasive or brass advice, you're clearly looking you're starting something with them, and they might not want that, and they definitely might not need that. So it's important to win them over, be fun, be a nice person, be exciting. Make them like you, and like them also. Don't just fake it.
I liked her. Like, she was great. She was actually really sweet, but there were points where she was just like, I'm like, did you actually say that? I'm like, that's rude. So
did you tell her though? Did you tell her that
on,
this?
Yeah.
And was there something afterward though? Not right away.
Afterwards, I think honestly at that point I just swallowed it. That's the thing. I was there like, okay, yeah, sure.
Right. It's hard for somebody who's getting like a resume or a suggestion. Someone who's doing you a favor. It's kind of hard to tell them like, I don't want this, like, or I can't stand, your suggestion.
That's something also that could kind of lead to worst case scenarios where you just start fighting over, like the shadchan will start looking at you and they're on the phone. And she'll be like, well, you should just, and then, you guys are just going to keep on going back and forth. And it's, like, where does it end? Is basically. So someone has to kind of come to a realization that, okay, this is not going the way I wanted or expected. So let's try to change the game up. This is why something I actually do often and constantly is go through the shadchanim that I was working with for the past maybe 2 to 4 months about, and I look through the text messages, I look through the WhatsApps, that's where it's at, and I will go through it and basically try to think about, like, okay, is this person like worth continuing the conversation with?
Yeah.
In terms of the shadchan, is that person
in terms of the shadchan, because I don't want to come off weird, and just keep on messaging them.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, you have anyone? No. 2 weeks later, do you have anyone? Stop asking me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the wrong one.
Oh my gosh.
Literally, you come off as like a desperate,
Yeah, that's not
sales pitch.
Want to actually, we have a caller
we'll take
now,
a pause.
so let's
get back to that afterwards.
Okay, cool.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
I don't know who this is, remember, so.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail.
Oh my gosh.
And welcome, caller. We appreciate you calling in. What's going on?
Your show, and I love Miss D. Can I hear her voice?
Hey, girl. Representing all the girls. Thank you for calling.
So this was a setup, basically.
Stop.
Hey, don't tell the audience.
So
Yeah,
caller,
you
thank
just
you.
ruined it.
So caller, so actually we're discussing on the upcoming episode, and we wanted to know what your worst dating experience was.
Worst Shidduch experience. Yeah,
Yes.
dating, shadchan, parent of a guy you're
Worst
dating, something.
Shidduch
You know?
experience. Yeah, okay, I'll give you an experience.
Aside from going out with
I had a
IJ.
guy-
Oh, please.
What?
Aside from going out with
What do you
IJ.
say?
That would be
Yeah.
your best.
Yeah, okay.
Oh
No,
my
let the
gosh.
let the caller
Alright.
talk. Okay, caller, go ahead. Worst
Do you
dating
see
experience.
this? I'm telling you.
Caller's name. Yeah.
Oh, can we see it? Oh.
I had a guy tell me that he wanted to take me out, everything. He picked me up. And the entire night, he was just driving around. He had no plan whatsoever.
Oh my gosh.
He was on his phone most of the time.
Yo.
Literally on his phone.
Oh my God.
That's messed up.
He did not
We
listen to
ended up
episode
not
5.
even getting dinner. We didn't get any drinks.
So what'd you
nothing.
do? Just ride around in the
I
car?
promise you nothing. And at one point, he even made a joke. He's like, "We literally did nothing."
Oh my
I was
gosh.
like-
Stupid
Oh,
guy.
man.
I was like,
Wow.
"Uh-huh."
Wow. And did you give me a yes
And,
after?
No. And like when I left, like I was just like, "Thanks for nothing."
Oh.
Did you
nice.
actually tell him thanks for nothing?
Yeah, I was like kidding around, but he
Oh.
knew what I was talking about. And
Good.
then
Good.
later
Good for
on,
you.
like the next day, he's like, "Can we try again?" And I was like, "No, we're not shy. I'm sorry."
Oh,
Guys
Hey,
are so
it
stupid.
happens to the best of us.
Oh my gosh.
this is why you listen to episode 5.
Yes.
Download it now.
Yeah.
Don't let her plan the date.
Yes,
Because
yes.
you literally have to come into the date with a plan. I mean,
Wow.
what else is there in
Yeah.
terms of dating?
Now
And
call.
also, I feel like guys need some dating classes. Don't be on your phone. Don't
Yes.
just,
That's
you
true.
gotta.
I'm actually on my phone right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
so
are
true.
you?
Good point. Yeah, he's on his phone.
Yeah. He's texting Macaroon Girl.
Awesome. And caller, in closing, would you give this guy a revisit? Oh, episode 11.
Absolutely not.
Wow.
Well,
You
duh.
clearly, I hope you're probably just going with your gut feeling, I guess.
No, that's just
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
That
Yeah,
guy was
yeah.
like
Yeah.
crazy.
No,
Maybe
it's
he's
common
changed.
sense.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. We actually have another caller, so
Ooh,
we're going to let
thank
you
you
go.
so much
and
for
we'll move
calling.
forward.
Thank you.
Hey, caller, what's going on? You're live with Avery, Misty, and IJ. What's up, and what's your Shidduch story?
Yes. Hello?
I mean, I went on 31st dates with the same guy in a span of a week to Starbucks.
Oh my gosh. He took you to Starbucks 3 times in a row?
Wow.
Mhm.
That's,
Hey, that's the only way I know how to do it.
oh my gosh.
I
Wait,
was, I was traveling into the city, and he was already in the city. So
Wow.
yeah.
That's crazy.
so you
That
said
was
no
a
to
fun
him?
one.
I'm guessing you said no to him after.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
basically, he was the first guy that I went out with, so I didn't really like.
Oh, okay.
First timer. We should make that an episode. The first time dater.
Well, yeah,
Oh, wow.
I've had many first timers, even
So
season
what did you
dating.
do your second date? Do you feel like you came more prepared for your second date, or
Guy.
Yeah, 3
Right.
times.
oh wow, no,
Like,
but
basically, like.
Did you mention on like the third date, by the way,
Oh, like call him
Yeah,
out on
I
it?
was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, how did he
I was
respond?
like, I was like, he was like, oh yeah, like that's a good point. Like I should go back home and get my car and like actually like
Oh, wow.
pick you up on a date.
Oh
And
my
I was like,
gosh.
oh, okay. Like, but like I guess that's also like newbies when you're like, what, like
Right.
I'm gonna be paying for things.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So
That's crazy.
that was a fun one.
Wow.
Sounds so fun.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Wow. I hope you
No,
communicated to the
No,
shop.
because like no.
Yeah, you were saying?
I mean, that was also like part of it. Like no one knows really like the rules in the beginning.
Right.
'Cause,
That's
like there aren't
true.
really any rules.
Yeah, clearly he didn't listen to the
So-
podcast, That's a...
Oh, wow. Wait, so it
I
was
mean,
also
this
his
was
first
A
time?
while.
Or it was just.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. So that's something. Yeah. That's weird. Yeah, that's weird.
It's funny
Yeah.
because I know IJ wanted to get engaged to a girl in Starbucks with a venti pike roast, but I convinced him
Nice.
not to. I said
If
that's a
that
little
chick
cheap.
works for her.
That works for
That did not.
Right.
Oh, let's ask you, by the way, you called in. Did you find us on the Instagram Live? Look.
The Instagram Live wasn't like booking. Like,
Oh.
it's not like trying.
It's just a picture of the number, like so people can call in. That's all. See, we're gonna edit that.
Right.
We're gonna put it up now, so you see we're actually live. We're gonna put that in. But thank you so much for calling.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
But thank you so much for calling.
Like the podcast.
Awesome,
Thank
and we
you.
appreciate you.
Thank you so
We
much.
appreciate you. All right, most hatzlacha with everything, and continue to listen. Bye bye.
You guys too.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that's how they fall into that category of like the worst shidduch experience ever. Like, it's not hard to stay away from that category. Just be a normal human being. You know, don't be an idiot.
For the shotgun or for
Anybody. Shadchan, person you're dating.
got it. Yes,
You know,
I agree.
nephew, uncle.
And all the above.
Yeah.
And obviously bring that up respectfully. So you're kind of breaking that and everything, and we're doing that. Oh, we actually have another caller. The Mr. Sternly told us, and let's see what they have to say.
Hi, my name is Michael.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Welcome, Michael, caller. How are you today?
Hi there. How are you today?
Doing great, Michael. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Avery, Miss T, and IJ.
And IJ, yes. And so we were basically talking about worst dating experiences. Give us one that you have.
Oh, yes. Well, first off, I must tell you that I am married happily.
Okay, that doesn't go together sometimes, you know.
That's good,
Married
but-
and then happily is good.
That's really good.
But
Yeah.
how long were you in Shidduchim?
How long? I would say for far too long.
Okay.
Too
So
long,
that's
okay.
so at least 25 years. No, I'm kidding. So we know. So what was bad? Like, was it the shotgun? Was it the girl? Give us, give it over. Tell Uncle IJ and Uncle Avery
Hello.
and Auntie.
Yeah. Well, I do remember I had a situation with a shotgun where she sent me a girl, and I thought the girl looked really wonderful, but she found a picture of me online somewhere, the girl, and gave it to the shotgun.
Wow. So she didn't even
Wait,
go to you.
A good picture, or like a bad picture?
And it was a bad picture. It was a picture of me in a studio for my sister's birthday, and I was laying on the floor next to some girl,
Oh.
and it was really bad, and the girl didn't appreciate it.
Oh
But the
wow.
girl also went to Thailand. It was really terrible.
Oh, wow.
And I said something to the shotgun about how does the girl have a right to go to Thailand? It's not a kosher place to be on the beach.
Well, it is.
And-
It isn't a kosher place to be.
It doesn't matter, though. I mean, she should not be looking up your picture without your permission. That's
Why not?
ridiculous.
She should not.
Whoa.
Well, hey, you, Avery, you did
I do
say
not agree on
a
that.
few episodes ago
Yeah.
that you can Google the person. So it's
Not
really
the
it's your fault.
shotgun.
No,
Right.
he got a picture. No, not
Anyone.
the-
Michael, should the shotgun have looked up your picture on Google?
No, it wasn't the shotgun.
It was a girl.
Oh, it was the girl who looked it up?
The girl who
Yeah.
sent the picture to the shotgun.
Hey, the girl, whatever. Either way.
Yeah. Well,
That's really bad.
Either way.
I have a very similar story, Michael, and I could share it with you and our audience. And when we get this one up, so very similar case happened to me. There was a girl who was sent to me for a few years, and finally I said, let me give her a yes. I was at a different stage in life. I got her. Got a resume from a shotgun I trusted. Send the information out. Okay, and honestly, maybe an hour later, I get a response from this matchmaker from the shotgun with a picture of me at my sister's birthday party 3 years before with my sisters, them hugging, and it was a nice picture, not very clean, but I'm there with my sisters, and the shotgun's like, the girl wants to know if you're shomer, and I now want to know if you're shomer. And I'm like, you can go to Gehenim. I'm like, first of all, I told the shotgun, you should stick up for me right away. Okay, don't think that this
Yeah.
girl owns you or anything. And then the next step was, wow, I'm really challenged now. Should I go ruin this girl's name because I know more people than she knows? And I was very upset. And they started coming in more and more. I like, it was a flood. Like, she just started sending me all these pictures. I'm like, yeah, okay, take pictures of my sister. This was not Avery. You follow me on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's kosher.
Except for the bathtub pictures.
Oh, you don't believe him. What the? Michael, you believe this guy?
No.
Good.
No.
Okay, awesome, man. But that's the case, and it is. I wish people wouldn't have to be so little in life, and that's really the most the biggest part of this. If you kind of give off, that's why it's important to kind of send pictures. Maybe if you do hold that.
That's how you get past that situation. I think you kind of can control it, Michael. And Misty and everybody. You can control that by sending your own picture to the shotgun yourself, and then the situation is in your control. Like, they're not going to start looking up once you send them a couple of pictures.
Not true.
Okay, maybe Miss D will, but in a lot of cases, they're not going to start looking up once you have the picture out there, and you're the man of the hour, kind of, or the woman of the hour, and then you have that in your hands. That's that's what I think.
Well, thank you, Avery, for that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, thank you. I'm a huge fan of you, Avery.
Oh no! Hey, come on.
Yeah, and where do you listen to the podcast on? Spotify, Apple? Where do you listen to it?
I listen to Spotify.
Awesome, Mike. All right, awesome. Thank you so much for calling. Keep on listening. We'll have another
Appreciate
episode out soon. And amen. Have a great one. Bye-bye. That was great. See that? People love us. See, no caller ID. Off record.
Yeah, so I wouldn't call this one my worst dating experience ever, but I would call it my worst dating aftershock experience. I had a girl I went out with.
Yeah.
She was from Canada. One date. Took her to the William Vale here in Williamsburg. It was beautiful. Beautiful date.
Cool.
4-hour first date.
Wow.
Great conversation. She was laughing. I was laughing. The waiter was laughing. We had such a good time. We were just literally like Lady and the Tramp,
Wow.
Well, maybe not Tramp. That's
I was going to say, that's what.
Lady and the incredibly incredulous Avery. Anyhow, and after the date, I'm like, okay, I'm going to tell the shotgun right away. It was like one of my first dates ever. And I'm like, telling the shotgun right away, yes, I want to go out.
Right.
And got back to me with a no. I was so depressed. I'm like, she doesn't really see that it's for her. I was so depressed. And then afterward, it was my worst, handling. I was about, I haven't cried in 20 years, but I was about to cry.
Oh.
I was like, oh my God,
Guys cry? Wow.
Nah, not really. I said I haven't. Cried
Wait, you didn't get a reason why? You just got...
I did not get a reason.
That
I kind of
sucks.
figured out, from the tea leaves, I figured out that she was a little bit older. She was a little bit older, and she probably wanted somebody that was more of an adult, more mature. I was 22, 23 at the time.
Right.
And she wanted a man, and I was a boy.
That's a big reason.
And that, that's something in the moment you kind of don't realize because you're having a good time, and that's all that matters.
Right.
But afterward, you can kind of just put the pieces together, play, Inspector Gadget, play Sherlock Holmes.
I hate doing that though, when you don't get a straight answer. So you have to figure it out in your head.
Right.
What did I do wrong? What's wrong with me?
Right.
That,
So
that's
from that
horrible.
point on, I've started to tell the shotgun, more specifically, okay, this is the reason that I don't think it's going to work. I think it's, look, I'm not attracted to her, or she doesn't have the right personality. We don't have to share the same sense of humor.
Yeah.
She doesn't like the podcast, things like that just don't work for us,
Right.
So I think it's very important for us to all be direct about what the reason is and then why you're not going to go back out.
But some people are not into that, saying directly what the problem was, because I feel like it could be too mean. It depends why, but again, there's a way to say things. So definitely word it nicely, but I think it's helpful to let the other person know what you didn't like, because maybe it's something they could fix, and for the next person that they're gonna date, it's helpful for them to know going in.
Have you ever told a guy or tell a shotgun to tell a guy okay, he did this and this wrong, or that situation?
Yeah. Also done it straight to the guy.
Really?
Because I'm listen, I'm you're a great guy, just you made me uncomfortable, and that could be it's very straightforward.
Yeah.
But I feel I don't know, I feel I just feel. I feel like it's important to let them know. It's definitely, you know, it can definitely help them in the future. And like for the next girl going out with him, he cannot act like a creep. So, you know, it's important. Definitely, if you could be straight up but be nice about it, definitely that's the way to go, I think.
Yeah. Oh, totally. I mean, you know, when you can get that direct feedback from the person about why it was so terrible, and some people could take it the wrong way, you know, like
right, that's true.
Okay, so hello caller, you're on line 3. What's going on?
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail.
Hello caller, what's up? You're on line 3.
Hello?
Hey, this is Avery, IJ, and Miss D, and welcome to Nobody Talks Shidduchim. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Who are we speaking to? We just need a first name.
Jennifer?
Hey,
Jennifer.
How's
What's
it going?
up?
Good. I just got a message about this. I'm not really sure what this is.
So we're discussing.
Give it a try.
Yeah, so we're discussing our worst dating experiences, worst shidduch experiences that we've had. You know, we already named a few, and we just wanted to hear from the listeners and audience what your worst shidduch experience was, and maybe just take.
And
it
it could be scary.
Right.
One time after I had one guy that actually treated me to nothing on a sweltering day.
That's
But
horrible.
yeah,
Wow.
but overall, I have to say that I mean, most of my dates have been, decent for the most part. Again, I'm not someone that I am selective, so I'm not someone who goes on a date every single day. There are some people that go on dates literally every single day of the week.
The mass serial dater.
Exactly. I am not. I am selective in who I date.
Yeah. Same.
So yeah. So
wow.
but over the years, the people that I've dated, for the most part, like I said, just one or two instances where I felt that really, maybe I can say 3 actually coming to think of. I mean, the guy was not 100% immense in terms of not really offering much or anything, put it this way.
Right.
But more so, I can say that there is a tremendous shidduch crisis of people not being set up appropriately.
Right.
And obviously the matchmakers that are out there, obviously a lot of them are just doing it, without any bonus or really any incentive. They're just doing it, out of their own will. And I applaud them for, doing what they're doing. I just have full-time jobs, or they, have a full-time
It's true,
job.
yeah.
If they don't have a real job of, taking care of their own family. And I applaud those who try to help. But just from talking about my own experiences, I feel that a lot of these matchmakers who, again, and I applaud them for all their hard work that they're trying, and they are trying. But at the end of the day, I think one big reason why there's such a big shidduch crisis, I think people are not people are not being set up appropriately.
Right.
Either in terms of the correct haskafa or in terms of
right. I hear that.
It is.
Education levels or profession wise.
And that's a reason why we're that's a reason that, in addition to obviously, wanting to talk about shidduchim and providing a platform, we're also discussing shidduchim. And we have actually an episode in the podcast that kind of walks people through how to get a hold of shadchanim, how to get more ideas and things like that. So that's actually one of our episodes. I think it was 2 or 3 about how to deal with the shadchan. And one thing that we said in that episode was, unfortunately, it's become a game of volume about getting as many resumes as you can and trying to see what really fits for you and getting in touch with as many shadchanim as you can, because that's how a lot of people want to handle it, is that they just want to feel like that they're out there and that they're trying to date people and they're keeping busy and they're just getting closer to finding the right one. So it's some really good points that you brought up.
Say that again?
You're still in shidduchim now?
Well, I'm looking.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yes.
I'm
single. I'm single, never married.
Right. Well, we are
single.
also we are all single here, so that's
Oh,
why.
yeah.
Yeah. So you're amongst brothers and sisters. That's the point.
We're all friends.
Beautiful.
Yes.
All friends.
We're all.
Yeah.
Okay, so
know.
unfortunately,
It's true.
I didn't catch your name, but
Well, it's IJ, Avery, and Miss D, and we have a podcast. So what you can do is you can, download the podcast basically to your phone if you have an iPhone or an Android.
yes, I do have. I have an Apple iPhone.
Okay, so we have your phone number. We're gonna send you the contact information. A few years ago, I knew the couple. I actually knew both the guy and the girl. We'd worked together for a few years, and the guy was a friend of mine. We set them up, and they were about 25, I think. The girl gets back to you right after the date. Hey, can we talk? I'm like, oh, must be the one for her. But then she actually gets me on the phone. She's like, I appreciate the date. I don't think it's shy to go out again. But you should just know that this guy, we went to a sports bar, like kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just sitting and like watching the screen too much. Like he kept on looking like up. He kept on like looking over the shoulder.
That's bad.
So she was very upset about that, and she was like, didn't you even realize? Did you even realize that?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, thanks for letting me know. We spoke a little bit more, hung up, called the guy up. I'm like, how'd it go? I kind of felt it out. It was a good shot. Listen up, all. I'm talking, how'd it go? This, that, the other. So did you watch any sports on the date? And I didn't hear like, oh no, it was. I didn't hear anything. That's what I heard. Crickets. And he's like, oh, I might have ducked my head a little bit. I'm like, look, buddy.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like,
yeah.
She actually mentioned to me that you were looking, you were looking at the team.
TV.
It was very distracting. It was very disrespectful. And he's like, you know what? No one's actually ever mentioned that to me before. He's like, yeah, I love sports. That's this guy's. That's why this guy's still single. And that's why
Thank you, Hashem.
That's why this guy's single.
Thank you, Hashem. IJ Hashem Jr.
So basically, he finally learned. The feedback that she gave really gave him that awakening. So it was a real bit positive. So it obviously it was not a good dating experience. It was something that guys unfortunately do a lot, and it don't always take it like offensively. Where maybe he's not interested in me.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just a jerk, this guy. Call them out. I think you could call people out if it's done the right way. So if you can or are used to or are able to, go ahead and make a comment and just say, oh, if you can. Again, not everyone can. I get more comfortable probably 10 dates in until I could really mention something like that. But if it works for you, it works for you. Give it a try.
Yeah, you just end up doing it differently the next time, which is so important. For all of us to learn from that, and then just end up doing it, changing how your habits were the last time you went out.
Yeah, I know it's true. It's very important.
Yeah,
I agree.
Any worst date? Now we went through the worst shocking experience, the one that you dealt with. That told you that you should not use those pictures. Like before,
Oh yeah, with our caller, Mike's a great Mike. We
loved
you. You were amazing.
Like you and Mike,
and we had another caller.
Yeah,
Lee. I think she said her name, Leia.
Was there a girl experience that you had?
Else.
Was there a date experience?
I did.
Just awful.
I did. It was actually it was a little sad, and I got set up by this guy that I met at a wedding. It was a wedding in the Hilton a few years ago. A lot of people know this person. He married a Canadian girl, so maybe people can kind of figure it out. So. We're on our way to the wedding because I know the guy from Yeshiva. Oh, I went to Yeshiva, everyone. Now you know. So I went to Yeshiva. So there's a bunch of guys who needed a ride. A bunch of guys driving the car, and this little kid, this little guy gets like put in the front seat. We're just talking, and like this guy and I, we're just talking about everything, like life and this and that. Like, you get me? You're my bro. We knew each other at Har Sinai.
Romance.
It was like love in the air, and. We spent the rest of the night basically together at the chuppah, at the morgue.
Oh my gosh!
Up top at the chuppah, in the back.
No, we were near Ohad. Ohad was there, singing. Okay. And anyway, so we kind of part ways. We give that Joe Biden Obama hug in, and then with the hands. And I get a text from him a little later on. Yo, dude, I got this girl for you. I think it's right on. I'm like, yeah, dude, don't even send me a resume or picture. Like, you know me. So I go out with the girl. Gosh. So I basically get to the house. Parents are lovely. I'm like, wow, this This is, the house was good, parents were good, and then a man came down. No, I'm kidding. and then this very pretty girl came down, and we said goodbye to the family. We're on our way out, and honestly, we were sitting, and she just would not talk. I'm not sure what was going on with her.
Ooh,
it was the worst date
For
I
mine.
personally ever been, because I'm a talker.
She was a mine.
I couldn't
Yeah.
squeeze anything out of her.
She didn't say anything.
No, she really didn't. It was scary. What a really sweet girl. I don't know. Like, did you have what? Maybe she had like her braces taken off. I don't know. I can't. I don't know. It was really weird. She wouldn't talk, so I was like, I got really uncomfortable. I'm like, I'm not doing like all the talking. So it got pretty like bloody right after that.
Oh my God. I think there's something about
Yeah.
getting set up
Horrible.
at a wedding. There's something about getting set up at a wedding that just like totally skews the actual date, because I got set up at a wedding,
Yeah.
and I would say it was kind of a setup before the wedding, because it was my friend getting married, and his grandfather saw me at the altar and he's like, I know you're a good looking guy. You're a good guy, Avery. I think you should go out with my great niece. She's coming in for the friend's wedding, and he was from Belgium, actually, the grandfather.
Right.
The girl is from Belgium, and she's coming in, and this is before tariffs, so they were okay with the U.S.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Anyhow, she came in to the wedding, and I see the grandfather. I'm at the wedding. I'm dancing. I'm there with my brother and a few of my friends, and we're all dancing with the chassan and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I see the grandfather looking at me, and he's pointing. He's like, you see that guy? And I'm like, what the hell is he pointing at? I'm like, I hope he's pointing at the nice flowers behind me.
Of course, yeah.
Or the band, or like the in-laws fighting or something.
Oh my
Not me.
gosh.
As long as he's not pointing at me, he's pointing at me, of course. And my parents are at the wedding, mind you. My entire shul, all my friends. And he brings me. He comes over and he's like, that girl from Belgium, she wants to go out with you. She saw your name on a resume. And I'm like, oh, God almighty. This guy is setting me up at the wedding in front of everybody I know with this girl.
Ooh,
So I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
this grandfather of the chassan. I'm like, okay, you know what? Maybe she's pretty. Maybe she's normal. Maybe she's nice. I'll just go over. Okay. So
You
he
can tell a
brings
lot
me,
from the family sometimes. To be honest.
Sometimes he brings me over to her. I did not see this coming at all. He brings me over to her.
Yeah.
She's standing there with her father, and it was super awkward. And I'm like, she's like, okay, this is Avery. Take a look. This
Oh
is
my
the guy,
God.
and this girl is sitting there, and the father. I meet him, and I'm like, hi, how's it going? And he says to me, he's like, okay, how you doing? Very awkward.
Oh gosh.
And I'm like, so you're from Belgium, huh? I'm like, okay, I did not drink enough for this. By the way, I'm not planning on going on a date
crickets in the
tonight.
background. Where
Definitely crickets. And then he,
there
we go. And then he after that, he's like, so why don't you two go for a walk? Go walk outside.
Oh
You're
my
at a
gosh.
nice wedding.
Yeah.
Go for a walk. Go for a little date. And I'm looking at her. And I'm like, she was not attractive to me. She kind of, Belgian people. So what did I do? Being the con artist that I am, I look at my phone. I'm like, oh my gosh. It was like, first of all, it was before the first dance. I'm
Yeah.
like,
You set a timer.
wow, I really,
you're
no,
five
I did not set the timer like IJ. I'm like, okay, I really, I have work really early tomorrow. Mind you, I was like in between college and getting a job at that point.
Oh,
I'm like, I have work at 7 a.m. I have to get up really early, so I'm leaving.
Dude.
I came to the wedding with my brother. I'm like, all right, we're going now. And he's like,
So you didn't go on a walk with her?
no way, no.
Why?
no.
Just a walk.
I just left her there. She must have been devastated.
Wow,
She
that's so
probably
mean.
hates my.
Probably. I
Probably.
don't blame you, girl, wherever you are. Maybe
but it
she's
was,
already married. Good for her.
carve out your own situation and let them
It's hard,
appreciate it
though.
for what you are
Yeah.
or aren't.
It's very hard
You
to
know?
do that in this system. To just
Mhm.
be you, like authentically you, and people are cool with that. You
Yes,
know,
that
you
was-
always have to like fit into something.
Yeah.
And if you don't fit into that, then it's like you're an outsider.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, for example, like I remember when I came back from Eretz Yisrael in yeshiva, and they're
Mhm.
like, my parents are like, so now that you thinking, you're going to start dating and
Right.
everything, you're going to start wearing a black hat. And I'm like, it just doesn't speak to me. Like a black
Yeah.
hat just doesn't, it's not my thing. I'm not going to be wearing a
And
black
the black
hat.
hat spoke to me.
Because it's not just the clothing, it's like
Yeah.
the mindset that goes with it.
Right.
So it's a different mentality, I feel like.
It wasn't that. Yeah, exactly. It just
Yeah.
wasn't my thing. You know, like.
Right.
And then people will say, like, people have said to me, like, "Oh, what are you doing a podcast? Oh, you're never gonna get Shidduchim if you do a podcast." I'm like, okay, the right girl is gonna be okay with like having a podcast
Exactly.
and having like another, way to influence people. And I'm like, okay, big deal if I have a podcast. I'm like,
Exactly.
that's very cool. I would appreciate somebody who has an
Yeah.
has
that's
an
what I'm
independent
saying.
mind. That's very interesting.
Right. A lot of people are like small-minded in a way. It's like if you don't like a podcast is so I think it's like out of the box. So if you're out of the box, it's like what are you doing?
Exactly.
Get back in the box. And it's like no, like I don't want to be inside a box. I don't
Exactly.
want to
Yeah.
be under any like label or whatever.
I don't mind being in a big box.
Right. No, I hear it. It's definitely you don't wanna stand out too much that you're doing it on purpose to like go against the crowd, but you just want to be yourself. Just, own who you are, definitely.
Yeah, and that could, and this can definitely get to a bad date.
To relate that to the, the bad Shidduch experiences, like people have said that to me where they're like, oh, he doesn't really fit in, like they'll look into me and they're like, oh, he doesn't really fit into our box. He's from Queens and he's from like,
Right.
New Jersey and it doesn't fit into what we're looking for, like that and that's a problem for them. And I'm like, you know what?
But then you're like, I don't want it anyways.
Screw you. I don't want you. Like you don't
Exactly.
fit into what I'm looking for,
Exactly. So you're like, when you could do that, when you have that confidence in yourself to be like, okay, fine. Like you don't want me. It's fine. Like I know my own worth and I don't need to like prove it to you.
Yeah. And
One question, how do you take a screenshot with this?
I have no idea.
You just on the side.
There
no?
you go. You almost had it. Except for the media. Give me.
Oh my God.
What are you screenshotting?
I
That,
could cut in on
like
that.
how
Actually,
many
I want to keep this in the video.
views?
People know we're normal here. We tweet. We Insta-vid. Wow, I can't. Avery is so God. What are we gonna do with him? So basically, guys, I wanted to go to in closing. Where, what could we leave our listeners with?
Be yourself. Be proud.
You said that last time.
No, but it's true because people need to hear it.
What does that mean?
It means that just like you want to do something, you don't be scared to get out of that box. Definitely, I think like create your own box if that makes sense. Just like do what you want to do, and like the right person will love you for that. It sounds so cheesy, but it's so true. Like you need to stop trying to be like everybody else.
But I've done that for 10 years and it hasn't worked.
Exactly. What? Be like everybody else?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nah, I'm just playing with you. But this
Yeah,
is
you're
this is what people kind of, come at you
No,
with.
it's important to know, and like I'll say it again and again and again. So yeah, that's my takeaway.
And kind of be conscientious about those bad dating scenarios, the worst shidduch experiences. Kind of realize what's going, think
What you
back,
can learn
look
from it.
back look back after 6 months or after 4 months, after a year, and say, okay, like, is it good? Is it working? Oh no, okay, this shotgun is driving me crazy.
Yeah.
These kinds of boys I'm going out with are a problem. These kinds of girls from this neighborhood, it's not working out.
Right.
But of course, don't just totally have nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
Someone comes up that is shaykh, that does make sense. Go with them, try it out. But if you do see some consistency patterns, maybe people do, or where the work, the hashkafa, the yeshiva, etc., that's a good game plan to have to try to avoid those bad dates. Avery.
Yeah, like I've said before, write down after each date, like what you liked about this girl, this shop, and how you presented yourself on the date.
That's good.
And just, always make sure that you're challenging yourself to bring the best out of you. So
Good
that
point.
you could bring the best out of the person that you're going out with. And then, you'll always feel like you're presenting the best opportunity. You left it all out on the table. You were in whatever
you put it all
situation it
out
was.
there,
You put it all out there and
like
you'll
that.
give an honest, an opinion of everything that happened. So,
Like no regrets.
no regrets. Exactly. Full out, all in, all the chips on the table, poker.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Cool.
And this has been another episode of the Nobody Talks Shidduchim podcast. It's IJ, Avery, Misty, and we all thank you for listening so well.
The LMNO Broadcast Network.